What's up, guys? It's Tristan. So I totally recorded this video before, and I didn't like how it was because Finley started crying in the background, and I just decided I wanted to redo it and see how it goes. So normally I have my whole lighting set up, I have my hair and my makeup done, but I think this time I kind of want to just do some toned down videos. I'm actually sick. I'm sure you can tell in my voice. It's awful. But today's been a pretty good day. I photographed this cute little family, and I caught up on some editing and whatnot because I was off from my bartending job. So I figured I would record a YouTube video, and so I guess that's what I'm going to do here. Sorry, I had a notification. So I wanted to talk about how to work for magazines and how to work for companies such as clothing companies and makeup companies. There's tons of videos on how to work with brands that are probably going to be far better than my videos. But if you're a photographer and you're wanting to get more work, maybe even locally, these are just some of the some advices that this is just some advice that I can give you. Sorry, I'm all over the place today. So whenever I first started in photography, I knew I wanted to do fashion photography. That was the idea, and that's still what I want to do. I just don't do it all over the US, I would say. I just do it in my town. I live in Mississippi, so it's kind of far and few between, but I'm just kind of tell you how I kind of got in there and started photographing for several magazines in my area. Honestly, it's kind of one of those things, you can't just sit around and wait for the companies to come to you and ask you. I mean, there's some people that are just, phenomenal and they have no issues, but you also have to market yourself and, get out there. They're not necessarily going to come to you. You have to go to them, or you have to make them see you. So here's a couple things that I have done to get clients and to get magazine work. First is send them an email. I mean, that's the most professional thing that you can do. I would definitely advise sending an email. Usually what I do is I have a PDF presentation that I have designed in InDesign. It'll have portfolio work. It'll have a, professional little intro, basically telling them, what I do, how I can help them, that kind of thing. I usually don't put prices or anything. I'll let them negotiate that or tell me, what they're willing to pay me. Unless they ask me for a price, and then I just kind of think about it and figure out what I feel is best. When you're starting out, you might want to kind of go on the low end just to kind of get the business, and then go up, when you get more experience and that kind of thing. I've been photographing since I was 15. I'm about to be 26 now. So the past 3 or 4 years, I really started getting more magazine work. When I got out of high school, I ended up messaging some magazines in my local area, and I had several shoots for a long time. It's kind of gone down a little bit because everyone's going to web and it's not quite print anymore. But I've photographed some really awesome editorial pieces. If I remember, I might try to put some in this video, but I'm not going to promise that. But yeah, so some other things you can do is tag them on Instagram. I've done that several times. Wedding magazines, they might even feature some of your weddings, or you could even try to submit them in without having to pay. Sometimes magazines like the free, photographers to send them in, and, that's publicity for you. You could even get more weddings out of it. Same with engagements. If you're wanting to do fashion like I was wanting to do, like I said, sending an email is probably the best. You can still even tag them in your Instagram posts, Facebook. Honestly, Facebook was where I really started with everything in my community. I have pretty much 5,000 Facebook friends. I'm capped out, basically. I do have a Facebook page as well that I use, but I don't use it as much as I do my personal because I interact with more people that way. But I would definitely say that have a professional portfolio with an intro. It's basically going to be like a resume in a way. I mean, definitely be creative with it. I wouldn't just do a standard, resume. I mean, you want to show that you're creative and that you're different and why you stick out. That's definitely going to help you get the job, of course. I'm trying to think of what else I had like spoken about in my other video, because like this works for clothing companies, makeup companies. I mean, tagging them in your tagging them in your photos and your work is definitely going to help too. But if you really want to get the jobs, emailing them, finding the contact person for whatever you're trying to do is definitely what you want to do, because like I said, they're not necessarily going to come to you. They might, but that's also a shot in the dark, especially if there's tons of other people fighting for the job that you want. If you're not emailing them and contacting them and making that connection, then it's not going to really get you anywhere. I do live kind of in a smaller town where they're in my opinion, it's saturated. That's really with any genre of talent, I would say. But I do live in the South, so it's like, if there's 5 fashion photographers, they would all be fighting for the same jobs, because there's maybe 3 magazines that maybe do fashion work. So some of them will rotate and alternate. I've noticed that. There are some magazines I've photographed for, it's like they'll use me every couple of issues, but it's not like every single issue. It's like they'll use me, then they'll use somebody else who's different, and then they'll come back to me again, that kind of thing. Which, it sucks because it's not consistent work, but you might can find a job, even with, like, clothing companies, that, their Instagram posts, their Facebook posts, or social media posts, they need photography for it, so why not, But, yeah, I'm trying to think of, like, the other key points that I had. I feel like I just rambled in my last video that I failed at recording. But, I would definitely say, like, on your website, even, like, for my website, what I did was, anytime I work for a magazine, I add it to the bottom the footer of my website, so that it shows, like, I've worked with these magazines, because magazines like to see that you've worked with other magazines, I've actually, based off of like Instagram and Google, I photographed for a magazine in New York once. They had a person down here in Mississippi that they needed photographed, and they Googled, and I came up, and that was so awesome, because I used commercial photography as my SEO hashtags, I embed it in all of my photos and that kind of thing. So when it popped up, they ended up using me, and that was pretty awesome. That was not an everyday thing. And then there's some things by chance. I was in Hattiesburg shooting with a magazine, and I actually met a girl handing out magazines for their local magazine, which was like an hour away from where I lived, and ended up getting that contact, and ended up working for them for quite a little while, whenever they needed stuff shot where I live, which was an hour away, so they didn't have to send a photographer out. I was already there, so that was pretty cool too. But they ended up closing down, so I don't work for them anymore, sadly. But it was a really creative, awesome magazine. It was I would say it was kind of like, I don't know, it was kind of like an edgy, like, band magazine. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. But, magazines and web content come and go. There's always work. You just have to look for it. Anytime you see new magazines or anything, I would definitely say contact them before they get all these other contacts, and it's harder for you to get work with them. If you don't have the portfolio that you think that they might want, then create it, styled shoots, that kind of thing. You can do it for next to nothing. Go to thrift stores, find models on Instagram. That'll help you connect with other people. I've actually had some of my friends end up modeling for some of these places because they saw them and they were like, oh my gosh, we love this person. Things happen. It is so cool. Like, I've had several friends that end up working for modeling companies and stuff, and I'm so happy for them because they're in New York shooting and traveling, and it's awesome that you can help each other out and grow, But, yeah, I don't really, can't think of any other questions or, anything to answer for you guys, but it's basically like you have to go to these people. You can't just wait for them to come to you, or you're never gonna get out there, There is definitely, you have to hustle to get these jobs, and I definitely believe that if you're willing to, to do it and, put yourself out there, it'll come. I hate getting rejected. I've been rejected several times, usually for more like clothing companies, that kind of thing, because they already have people. But I would definitely say just try. the worst they can say is no, and in a couple months to a year, try again. I mean, if you see that they're looking for a photographer, or you see that maybe they need a better photographer and your work is improved, then reach out to them again and just see. I mean, you never know. Just because it's a no one time doesn't mean that it's always going to be a no. I don't like rejection. That is why it's taken me forever to even make my YouTube channel, because I have been just terrified of, all these backlash comments. Like, that's one thing, whenever you do a YouTube channel, you're putting yourself out there, and it's a scary situation, especially because, like, I'll go on, take for instance, like, beauty gurus and stuff. Like, you go on their pages and you just see all this hate, and it's like, why? Like, they're just literally, like, doing a makeup tutorial, and there's just, like, tons of hate for no reason, just because people just want to troll the internet, I've only uploaded, like, maybe not even 20 videos, and a good majority of what comments I've had are critiques or, like, negative comments, because I'm not amazing at YouTube. Like, I don't do video. I mean, I'm a photographer. Now, I'm trying to learn how to do video, and I'm not going to say that I'm a pro at it, but I'm learning, and, who's to say in a year from now, I'm not posting every day and doing amazing stuff. I mean, I don't know what a year holds from now. So, you can't let fear hold you back from doing these things. I definitely think that you're very capable if you have the drive to do it. You just have to email people and cross your fingers, and, if you get told no, then try again. If you're willing to travel, message places in other states. I have a kid, so I can do those things. I just have to work around a babysitter, or, take him with me and have someone with me to watch him. But, I mean, and even so, just because you have a family doesn't mean you can't. I have friends that literally, they're concert photographers, and they're traveling the world, like, and they have a family, but their family supports what they do, and, every time they get approved to shoot shows, they're gone, they're there, and that's so awesome. And, I don't know how to put it, but in my opinion, I feel like I'm almost 26, and I feel like I'm old, but I'm really not. But I see all this, like, talent, 15, 16-year-olds that are just phenomenal at photography, but at the same time, they've grown up with all of this, whereas I'm older, and, cameras and technology were still new when I was younger, and I didn't necessarily have it, or it was, like, really expensive because it was brand new, whereas now it's like having an iPhone is normal, whereas I'm, like, recording this video off of my iPhone. I mean, I have a Mark IV, but I'm using my cell phone just because I really just didn't feel like, setting all my lights up and charging the battery and all that, so we're just going to go with this one for now. I just really wanted to get a video up anyway, because I'm trying to be more consistent with my YouTube channel, and, I may never get anywhere with this channel. I'm just trying, something new, and get my face out there and network with other people, like I've said in my other videos. So I think I'm going to leave you with this. If you guys have any questions or want me to, like, elaborate on this subject more, let me know in the comments, because I definitely don't mind helping, giving advice, because first and foremost, yes, I am an artist and I'm a creator, but I also had to become a business person, and it did not happen overnight. I have trial and errored. I've had to learn how to do taxes. I've had to learn how to organize, contracts, and make sure everything is in order so I can find it when I need it. I have a lot of experience, and I did pretty much everything on my own. I did go to college for photography, but they didn't teach the business aspect, which I really feel like they really lacked with that, and I wish they would have done more, because all they did was teach me, lighting and all that kind of stuff, which really, I don't even feel like I learned much. Like, I taught myself. I went to YouTube and bought a lot of books. I read a lot of books in college, which, I mean, who hasn't? But, definitely, working for companies and stuff, that's going to be the business side of it. And, hey, you might be lucky and you might have someone who works for you and can do all that for you. I don't. And at the same time, I have anxiety, I feel like everyone probably has some kind of anxiety in some way. But, like, being on the phone and possibly getting rejected on the phone terrifies me. Whenever I talk pricing with people, you know, and when people try to tell me that I'm too expensive or something, when I know that I deserve, you know, the prices that I set, that's kind of where that conflict gets really iffy, because I feel like people will run all over me if I'm on the phone with them. Whereas if I'm sitting in an email, yeah, it's still scary, but it's a little bit easier to be like, well, these are my prices, so I'm sorry, you know, that kind of thing. But you learn with these situations, and you'll definitely get better. You know, again, I've been shooting for like 11 years now, and I'm just now like really confident in what I do, like business wise anyway. I feel really confident when I take pictures too, of course, but I feel really confident with my business aspect as well. So I'm going to stop rambling now, and I'm going to end this video. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. If you guys have any questions, you know, put them in the comments below. And if you have any more like ideas for future videos that I could shoot, definitely leave that below or message me that. I would definitely love to do more videos on, you know, business and that kind of thing. So I'll see you guys in my next video.